Thinking about therapy, but not ready yet. Hi, it's Sandra Mazili from Inner Action Counselling. Visit www.inneractioncounselling.co.uk. I want to talk about this because it's massively common. Lots of people visit therapy websites, directory listings, and save phone numbers and emails and stuff, and don't reach out for weeks, even months. And it's normal and natural because it's a tremendous undertaking. You're not buying a pair of socks. Trusting your precious self with someone else's self. And don't underestimate the strength and courage that can take. It outweighs the logistical stuff, virtual or in person, or the commute, time, energy, finance. You need to be able to trust that the person alongside you can help you help yourself with the challenges you're facing. And so spending time deliberating on that is natural and normal. Like you don't have to think, oh, I've spent so long on this, I obviously don't want to do this. That's not how this works. It takes time to sift through the thousands anyway. And I've got a couple of videos about that, links below, all about how to reduce that to either double digits or single digits, and then look at it in a bit more detail. Is this who I want to work with? And then saving their contact details to actually contact them and really find out what they're like through a consultation session, which is normally free. Mine are free. I haven't come across anyone in a long time who makes you pay for the 15, 20-minute, this is how we could work together thing. But never say never, okay? That's why I'm caveating it. And I want to focus on, in this video, reasons why people might be prevented from just sort of jumping in and taking the next step. So this is the step, I suppose, before the consultations and things, is the kind of, am I ready for this yet? I'm not sure. So fear is one reason people hold back a little bit before making contact. What if I'm too much? What if I'm not bad enough to need therapy? What if there's too much in my life at the moment? You know, my thoughts aren't organized enough to really sit down and take time away from it all. There's just too much going on. And what if I just don't know what to do with this? Here I am, I'm in therapy and I just don't know where to start, what to say. So I'm going to tackle that one first because being worried about what to say should be the least of it. Therapists have tons of ideas of how to jumpstart a conversation to then lead into the more important things you want to talk about, maybe. So sometimes I might ask how somebody's week's been, how they're feeling, or what's uppermost on their mind. They're just some things. So if somebody doesn't know where to start, I might start at the beginning of whatever it is they've come to see me about. Or, you know, what's the worst thing at the moment, or the thing that is just repeating itself the most at this moment in time, just one thing. Without even thinking about it, what is it? And it tends to come out. And for the sake of argument, if it doesn't, then, you know, we can just talk about how the week has been. And then the thing that is on your mind that probably didn't want to come out when we asked it to will appear when we're not looking at it. It's like, you know, no, don't look at me. And it's like, what did you do on the weekend? Or like, what TV did you watch? You know, or any YouTube videos? And we'll talk about that for a minute. It's, oh, wait, the thing I wanted to talk about, there it is. So worry not about that. Not being sure if things are bad enough. This is a common one. Private therapists don't tend to work like that in this kind of triaging way. I don't anyway. You see that triaging quality in medicine a lot, particularly A&E, right? You over there, you've got a headache, you can queue, your head is cut open, you can come straight through. And Private therapists, this one operates on a first come, first serve basis. Issues, like how severe they are, don't really come into it. If an issue is more severe, I'd delve more deeply into the current and potential support system with you more than I would the next person to find out what support there is around them. It can't just be the therapist. We're seeing each other for less than an hour a week. If the issue doesn't seem awful, and you may well feel it's awful or an awful situation for you, I'm not sitting there with a sort of mental emotionometer going, yeah, okay, society thinks this isn't too bad, so I'm not working with you. That's really not how I do things. And I say this guardedly. I don't think many therapists would use a sort of emotional yardstick going, you're coming to therapy for that? Right? No. I come from a crisis background in crisis training, and a phrase that they used in training a lot was a crisis to you is a crisis to us. So I've spoken to a lot of people on crisis lines who are in crisis, and regardless of what I think of the situation they're in crisis and they're in pain about it. So my job is to help them get from that crisis point into a neutral point. So if you're feeling bad about something, it's not me saying, well, you're feeling bad, but the thing isn't actually bad, is it? I meet you where you are. If you're feeling horrible, it's my job to meet you where that is and to help you help yourself feel less horrible. Your feelings matter to me, whatever they are, whether the feelings seem to you or anyone else disproportionate to the situation you're in. That's not even a thing for me. Right? Being too much. I'm so messed up, this person won't work with me. So the severity of the issue doesn't necessarily have a filter for me. Where things can differ is the level of support needed. So I've already said on my website, that I don't work with active psychosis or active addictions, and I don't help with drug addiction, although I can help with alcohol, provided there's a recovery program in place. It doesn't have to be an official medical with bells on recovery program, but it does have to be some form of supported, planned, executed recovery rather than, yeah, actually, I'm thinking about stopping at some point, but I'm not going to bother today. It has to be some kind of thing in place. And my support can happen alongside that support. With general kind of mental health issues, like it really depends on how managed the issue is. So if it's managed enough, psychosis is fine. If there's support in place, as in psychiatric nursing or outpatient psychiatric review and or medication, I'm talking about free fall psychosis I can't really help with. But managed is fine. And if you're receiving regular medical support and review and various things, and you want help with mental health stuff, and this happens to be on board with it, that is absolutely fine. But in terms of this or that issue being too severe, it isn't. Even if whatever issue you're facing requires voluntary hospital admission, I can still support you. It just looks different. So you don't have to worry about us getting to a point where it's just, oh yeah, well, I can't work with this, yeah. I can. It's just going to involve more support from others. So I hope that clears that up. Life's too chaotic. There's too much going on for me to have therapy right now. I'm not sure there's ever going to be the right moment, the perfect moment to just check out and get therapized, where everything is neat and tidy enough for you to just go, right, I'm just going to work on myself while it's quiet. Therapy is the space for you to bring your stuff, however organized or disorganized stuff seems to be. You don't need to be in crisis to start therapy. You don't need to have everything in order and your ducks in a row to have therapy. You don't even need to be 100% sure why you want therapy. So as part of my registration form, I ask why you want to do this now. So kind of like the issues you want to work on. And I ask why now. It's okay not to be 100% certain about that, but just even have a sort of jumbled idea is fine. But to just have a little bit of, this is where I am now, which is even putting down where you are at this point. And I wouldn't do this in actual therapy. I'd want to kind of clarify the goals a bit more. But when you're beginning, to be clear about where you are now and what maybe you're not wanting to have going on is also fine. So if you're not ready to reach out yet, maybe try this little exercise. Write down one thing you wish you could say out loud. Name something that keeps coming up for you over and over again. So make a note of one thing you're tired of carrying on your own. Any one of these could be where your therapy process starts, when the time is right for you, and only you will know when that is. Whenever you're ready, I'm here, and there's no commitment or pressure, just here to support you. Until next time, take care and bye for now.